How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must white
Have you ever heard the name Bobdylan?
Yes, he is very impressive to me. He is an American singer, songwriter, also the musician, poet, and painter. He is one of people whom I consider a multi-talented. He performs with guitar, piano, and harmonica. He has toured steadily since late 1980s on the never-ending tour. He is famous with his variety of styles, from tradition of American song, blues, country to gospel, rock, and rockabilly to English, Scottish, and Irish folk music, and even jazz and swing.
He was at first a chronicler and then resistant figurehead of social unrest. Some of his songs, such as Growing in the Wind, became an attempt for both the civil rights and the anti-war movement. His early lyrics incorporated political, social, and philosophical as well as literature influence. He was independent and brave to be different. Let's see how his life went through and inspired and romance.
Bobdylan was first named Robert Allen Zimmerman. He was born in St. Mary's Hospital on May 24, 1941 in Dutch, Minnesota and raised there in Hibbing, Minnesota. His parents were Abram Zimmerman and Beatrice Stone. His ancestor was originated from Istanbul and was Jewish. He lived in Dutch until 6 when his father was polio and his family returned to his mother's hometown, where he spent the rest of his childhood here.
He spent his childhood in listening to radio, first in blues and country, then in rock and roll. He performed several bands in high school. The Shadow Blasters, the Golden Chords, and played covers of opera songs. He moved to Minneapolis in September 1959 and enrolled at the University of Minnesota. He early focused on rock and roll, gave way to an interest in American folk music. In 1985, he explained how folk song music attracted him so much. He soon performed at 10th Oak Rock Scholar, a coffee house a few blocks from campus, and became involved in local Dinkytown folk music circuit. In Dinkytown, he began introducing himself as Bobdylan.
By giving explanation that everyone cannot choose to be born, but they can choose who they are, and this is land of free. Dylan dropped out of college at the end of his freshman year. In January 1961, he moved to New York City, hoping to perform there and visit Woody Guthrie, whom was his idol. However, Guthrie had the Huntington's disease in Greystone Park Psychiatric Hospital.
This impacted Dylan's early performance. Dylan wrote about humanity and the voice of American spirit. In 1961, Dylan played around Greenwich Village. The play of harmonica on folk singer Caroline Hester eponymous. Third album brought attention on his talents, and his made album producer John Hammond signed him to Columbia Records in December.
However, they sold only 5,000 copies in the first year. He changed his name to Robert Dylan and signed a management contract with Albert Grossman in August 1963, and he remained Dylan's manager until 1970. Dylan's second album, The Freewheeling Bob Dylan, was released in May 1963. Many songs in the album were labeled protest songs inspired by Guthrie.
His most famous song at this time was Growing in the Wind. Derived its melody partly from slave song, No More Auction Block, while its lyric question the social and political status quo. In 1965, he secretly married 25-year-old former model Sarah Lawrence. He undertook a world tour of Australia and Europe in 1966.
In July 1966, he crashed his 500cc Triumph Tiger 100 motorcycles. He broke vertebrae in his neck. He didn't tour again for almost 8 years. In October and November 1967, he was back in the recording studio.
He coupled with lyrics that took the Judeo-Christian tradition, seamlessly made a departure not only from Dylan's work, but include all around the Watchtower and Nashville skyline.
His political profile was raised when he was in the A. Sullivan Show, which his performance of Talking John Birch's Paranoid Blues was libelous to the John Birch Society.
He refused to appear on the program instead of censorship. By that time, Dylan and Byers were both prominent in the civil rights movement, singing together at the March on Washington. His third album, The Times They Are A-Changing, reflects a more politicized and cynical Dylan.
By the end of 1963, he manipulated by the folk and protest movement when accepting Tom Paine Award from National Emergency Civil Liberty Committee after assassination of John F. Kennedy. Another side of him was romantic and passionate love song. For example, I Shall Be Free, number 10. In later half 1964 and 1965, his appearance and musical style changed rapidly from songwriter of the folk song scene to the folk rock pop music star. In 1965, album Bringing It All Back Home was recorded first in electric instrument. The lyrics have been a forerunner of rap and hip hop. He also accompanied himself on acoustic guitar and harmonica. In Newport Festival, he performed his first electric set.
Nevertheless, his Newport performance provoked a hostile response from the folk music establishment. In a singer like a Rolling Stone has been widely credited with attitude about a pop singer could convey. He made variety of figures in Western culture. In 1966, producer Bob Johnson persuaded Bob Dylan to record in Nashville section Blonde on Blonde.
His life in 1971, he served at Blue Rock Studio. His result in a single, it was a surprising return to protest material. In 1972, he signed on to Sam Peckinpah, Pat Garrett, and Billy the Kids, providing songs and backing music for the movies. In 1973, he signed with a new record label, David Gibbons Aslam Records. He used band as backing group while rehearsing for a major tour.
The album included two versions of Forever Young, which became one of the most popular songs. In 1924, he returned to riff touring. He embarked on a high-profile Brain Folding concert. Released in 1975, Blood on the Tracks received mixed reviews. Over the years, critics have come to see his achievements. It was the only serious rival to his mid-1960s trilogy album.
In 1986, Dylan made a foray into the world of rap music as he added vocals opening verse of Skid Row, a song on Curtis Blow's album. In 1987, he made Dylan and the Date album. It received some negative feedback. He also starred in Hearts of Fire movies.
In 1988, he released Down in the Groove. It was even more unsuccessful in its sales than the previous album. There were many critics and commercial disappointment, but it was followed with the success of the band Traveling Wilburg. He formed a band with other co-founders. However, Dylan finished the decade with critical high note.
In 1990s, he began with Under the Red Sky. It contained simple songs. In 1991, he was honored by recording industry with a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award from American actor Jack Nicholson.
The event was coincided with the Gulf War against Saddam Hussein, and he performed his song Master of War. In 1997, he released Illinois' produced album Time Out of Mind. It was about love and morbid rumination. United States President Bill Clinton presented Dylan with the Kennedy Center honor in the S Room of White House.
Dylan won the Polar Music Prize in May 2000 and his first Oscar, his song Things Have Changed, penned on the film Wonder Boys, won Academy Award in March 2001. He released Love and Death recorded with his touring band.
He produced the album himself under pseudonym Jack Frost. The album also earned several Grammy Awards. In 2004, he published the first part of his autobiography, Chronicles, Volume 1. There was a film biography of Dylan by Martin Scorsese's Acclaim.
In 2006, Dylan released his Modern Times album, which was nominated for 3 Grammy Awards. Modern Times won Best Contemporary Folk Americana Album, and Bob Dylan also won Best Solo Rock Vocal Performance for Someday Baby. In 2007, Columbia Records released the triple CD retrospective album Dylan, collecting his entire career under the Dylan 07 logo. He released his album Together to Life in 2009. 9 of the 10 songs on the album are credited as co-written by Bob Dylan and Robert Hunter. The album received number 1 in the Billboard 200 chart in the United States.
In 2012, President Obama awarded Dylan a Presidential Medal of Freedom in the White House. Obama praised him of his music as the inspiration. He also released his 35th studio album, Tempest. The album featured a tribute to John Lennon, Roll On John, and the title track is about the sinking of the Titanic. In 2014, his greatest action was in a commercial in an American football game. His life until now is very impressive. He is not only the musician but also is a legend. He is one of the role models who inspires young generation in many